Hello and welcome to Bureau Bites, a regular pod bite bringing you news from Vietnam and the region. I'm Matt Cowan, the Bureau Chief and your host. Thank you for joining me for this quick bite. Well, in the past few days, the Australian government has increased measures in its bid to stem the rise of COVID-19 infection rates across its states and territories. The Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, announced on March 22 that Australians will be living with the virus for at least the next 6 months. The social distancing measures hope to slow the virus down and must be sustained for at least that long to protect Australian lives and jobs and to allow Australia to keep functioning, he said. Those measures now include bans on pubs, gyms and indoor sporting venues, cinemas and nightclubs, restaurants and cafes and places of worship, and include the avoidance of non-essential travel. The government has acknowledged that these new restrictions will change the way Australians live and that business owners and their employees will be impacted. But what of Australians and Australian businesses in Vietnam? Where do they find themselves in all of this? In Vietnam, aside from the Australian Embassy in Hanoi and the Australian Consulate General in Saigon, there are non-government organisations like AusCham Vietnam that advocate in the interests of members across government and industry. Pre-COVID-19, AusCham supported Australian business interests in various ways, including through seminars, networking and social functions, as well as charity events. But, as we all now know, things have changed rapidly for Australian businesses in Vietnam. In order to find out more about how they're faring, including the likelihood of them receiving financial support or otherwise, I spoke to Simon Fraser, who is the Executive Director of AusCham, based in Ho Chi Minh City. Simon, thank you for joining Bureau Bites.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me along as well.
How would you describe your past week?
The past week, I describe the past week as being very frenetic. Lots of people calling with different questions, wanting to ask advice, and we've had to adapt because it just hasn't been a steady stream of inquiries based around business, but probably people calling on more personal matters a lot of the time. Just to get some advice, thinking that we'd be more in tune with what's happening than perhaps some regular sources of advice. I guess we've been having discussions with the Australian government here in Vietnam as well. We had plenty of members calling, as well as the staff have been relying on us to give them direction as well. But I just feel that there's also a growing sense of anxiety amongst anybody that you might be talking to at the moment. So, it's not it's out of the norm. We normally describe it as being frenetic.
From your discussions with business leaders in Vietnam, how have Australian businesses been faring since COVID-19 has ramped up?
I think I'd say that Australian businesses have been very receptive to the advice that they've been receiving from both the Australian government and also from the Vietnam government. I know that a lot of the bigger businesses here have taken necessary precautions as mandated by the Vietnam government and also the Australian government and implemented their business continuity plans, which is quite evident that a lot of businesses are now sending staff home and that staff are working remotely or people are actually taking sort of annual leave or leave without pay. So what I know is that they're all adapting to the situation and where they can, it's business as usual.
The Australian government announced its first round of stimulus packages last week to help stimulate the Australian economy and to support businesses and the vulnerable, which I believe will begin rolling out at the end of this month. What financial support or other do you believe Australians with businesses in Vietnam will receive, if any?
Yeah, I haven't heard directly from anybody from the Australian government on this point. And this might be a little way off for Australian businesses based here in Vietnam. I think they're going to be limited to any amount that they may receive in Vietnam, and this may only come from some of the bigger businesses in in Australia that might benefit from the stimulus package. I don't think there's any definitive flow right now at this stage. And I'm not sure that there'll be anything in the short term, but from a long-term basis, they may be realised that this might be some time off.
Do you know if a contingency plan for Australians and Australians with business interests in Vietnam exists should COVID-19 escalate further and continue well into the year and perhaps into next year?
I don't know of any contingency plan for Australians with business interests in Vietnam, especially from the Vietnam government. And whether or not there is something that may be realised from the Australian government, I think is quite a way off just at this time.
And finally, Simon, what's your advice for Australian business owners in Vietnam at the moment, especially those that have and or will be hit hard by the situation?
My advice to Australian business owners currently in Vietnam is that take into account any business contingency plan that you have in place. Follow the direction that the Vietnam government is adhering to at this time. It's basically social distancing, remote working. Obviously, if there's people with the opportunity to take annual leave, salary sacrificing or the other, that they take that advice, because I think that the recovery from Vietnam post-COVID-19 will be reasonably quick. I think that what we've seen from a business perspective in Vietnam is that there's still a lot of inquiries coming into the country via our members and also via AusCham. And these interests are coming from other countries around the region, and they're focused on post-COVID-19. So I think that if people can take every opportunity to basically close down their business to a point and stay the course for whatever period there is, this would be the best solution for them to follow at this time.
That was Simon Fraser, the Executive Director of AusCham in Ho Chi Minh City. Well, that's all for this Bureau Bite. If you liked what you heard, please review the Bureau podcast wherever you get your podcasts. This has been Matt Cowan. Until our next Pod Bite, keep up to date with what's happening in Vietnam and the region by going to thebureauasia.com and visiting Facebook and Instagram at The Bureau Asia.